Mabuhay. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmates. So, our topic for today is all about sports, physical recreation, and physical activity. So, before we discuss or tackle our topic, let me explain first what is sports, physical recreation, and physical activity. So, sports is a competitive and structured because it makes the activity meaningful both the participants and the audience. Next is physical recreation is informal and enjoyment. So why is it gitawag siya og informal? It is because ga-focus ra siya through enjoyment and relaxation rather than competing and achieving a goals. So next is physical activity. Is any movement that burns calories regardless of the context or purposes. So mao na ang activity nga ginabuhat nato everyday like walking or any nga mga exercise. So, sports and cultural identity. Sports are part of every culture, past and present. Different cultures have their own definition of what constitutes sports. So, sports can both influence and reflect cultural belonging, while cultural identity can shape the way people participate in or relate to sports. So, sports, it means kanang nadala sa mass games, mo na sports. And then, ang cultural identity, it shapes individuals to their culture in sports. So silbi ga-intersect sila both the sports and the cultural identity. So next is leisure as time. Within the broad framework of leisure defined as time, there are many variations. Some make a very broad distinction, defining leisure as the time when someone is not working primarily for money. So nagpasabot na siya sa libre or free nimo nga oras nga wala na kay trabaho. And mao na nagkapahatag nimo og kanang lingaw sa imong kaugalingon, or it makes your time to socialize other people, and nagadepende na siya sa oras ni mga free, not just for yourself but also for your family, relatives, and friends nga, for example, like holiday breaks, weekend days, and kuan kanang vacation time, leisure as time. So next is leisure as activity. Another classical of understanding of leisure is that it is made up of an activity or a cluster of activities. So what do you mean by a cluster of activities? So it means it is a group related to activities that organized together for a specific purposes. So it means that engaging in a voluntary or enjoyable mga activities. So for example, like mga basketball, like swimming, like jogging. So aside from that, also pwede sa siya like kanang makig-socialize mo, like hanging with your friends, like attending parties, like camping, ganon. So we have here the most highly stressed 6 out of 10 families in the absence of organized recreation partake in the following activities. So first we have the marital affection and intimacy, reading for leisure, family conversations, activity as a couple, walking, shopping, and etc. Family outings, visiting family and friends, playing with children, watching television, outdoor sports, eating out, religious workshops, short auto trips, gardening, home decorating, and lastly, the arts and crafts. So next is leisure as an all-embracing holistic concept. Cruz uses the word holistic to fuse together some of the meanings of leisure. So the topic is very broad when it comes to leisure. From the word all-embracing holistic concept, so it talks about engaging and enriching activities that can nurture our body, mind, and spirit, that can benefits to our body. So leisure is not just about escaping our responsibilities, but about creating a balance in life and pursuing activities that can contribute to a well-rounded. So dili lang kay gabuhat-buhat mo na nga activities nga wala, but also maka-benefits na siya sa ato ang body, mind, and spirit, no? As an all-embracing holistic concept. Leisure as recreation. Another meaning of leisure is it synonymous with recreation. It is just a question of semantics. Recreation, like leisure, is a far from simple concept to grasp and to understand. The word recreation stems from the Latin recreatio, restoration to health. So, as what I have said, leisure is the broader concept, encompassing any time free from obligation that is available for rest, relaxation, and personal enjoyment. So for example of leisure is that sitting in a park, enjoying a walk, reading a book, or having a relaxed conversation with your friends, while recreation refers to activities within leisure time that are more purposeful, structured, and often physically or mentally engaging. So, for example, like playing a sports, going to hiking, dancing, engaging in a recreative hobby, or painting. Recreation as leisure activities, the most widespread definition and the one most acceptable to providers to leisure services, is that recreation activities in which people participate during their leisure time, however not just activity will do. So nagpasabot nga ang recreation mao na ang kalihukan sa leisure nga mga aktibidad nga mabuhat nato sa mga bisan unsa mga activities during our free time that also involves physical and mental. Recreation and wholesomeness. Jensen 1977 sees one of the characteristic of recreation as that it is wholesome to the individual and society. So it means magkatugma ra sila duha kay as what I have said nga ang recreation it is an activity within leisure time and ang wholesomeness mo na siya ang mga activities nga makapalambo sa usa ka tawo or magahatag og benefits while doing that activity. So, like for example, ang pag-apil og basketball. So, after that, nakay makuha nga benefits sa imong mind, body, and spirit. Linking experience to activity, there is an apparent drawback to the school of thought that defines recreation as any experience at all. It loses any connection to withering leisure or activities. So, it means nagahatag or gihapon siya o results nga maka-benefits nimo while doing that activities. So like for example, you are doing a sports nga kanang hilig jud nimo or like pareha niliyan nga ganahan siya og kanang sayaw-sayaw, then that's why tig-apilan siya mga dance contest. Then after all, she has the experience na dayon nga magahatag og kalipay sa iyang kaugalingon. Recreation's well-being and leisure, defined by the community, included any activity that was undertaken in discretionary time and about which the participant had the choice. It included active and passive elements. So overall, these elements kay maghatag siya og healthy lifestyle sa usa ka tawo. And that's for all. Thank you.
Recreation and social cohesion. Recreation and leisure are the same thing? That will depend on your own interpretation. In some ways, they share the same characteristics but they play different roles in society. Leisure and its relationship to work. Work and leisure were intertwined and structured around celebrations, sessions, rites and passage, and the like. Leisure is time spent freely away from work obligations for personal enjoyment and fulfillment. It's a vital aspect of well-being, offering opportunities for relaxation, creativity, and personal growth. Work, on the other hand, is the unstructured activity we engage in to earn a living, contribute to society. It provides purpose, structure, and financial stability. Leisure influence work. Engaging in fulfilling leisure activities can enhance creativity, problem-solving skills, and overall well-being, boosting productivity and job satisfaction. Changing time for work and leisure. Select clear boundaries. Design it work hours. Stick to a set schedule, whether working remotely or on site. It helps maintain a routine and prevent work from bleeding into leisure time. Prioritize task activity. Use the 80-20 rules. Focus on the 20% of tasks that bring the most result. This prioritization can help you accomplish more in less time, freeing up time for personal activities. Set daily goals for work and leisure. Work goals set clear daily and weekly objectives to keep yourself on track without overextending. Leisure goals. Plan regular breaks, hobbies, and social activities so you have things to look forward to outside work. Leisure as a way of life. Leisure as a way of life is about integrating relaxation, enjoyment, and fulfillment into our daily routines, making it a core aspect of living rather than occasional escape. Shift mindset on leisure. focusing on quality, emphasize living fully, prioritizing happiness, health, and relationships as much as career or mental success.
Mabuhay! Good morning, everyone. Good morning, ma'am. My name is Lian Ryan Buhisan Generalao, and I am the next reporter. So, in continuation of Mr. Zamora's report, let's now bump into the founding principle of modern management. So, contemporary management practices have been influenced by many schools of management thought. Management understanding has progressed from the scientific movement instigated by Frederick Taylor, CREM 1972, 100 years ago, through the human relation movement influenced by Elton Mayo in 1933. I read the Mojo, no, I can say that the scientific movement that initiated by Frederick Taylor over a century ago is that approach emphasized efficiency and systematic management methods as noted by Wren in 1972, and also in human relations movement later in Elton Mayo in 1933 influenced management by focusing on human interaction and workplace relationship. So these developments laid the groundwork for the progression of modern management theories and practices. And now let's move on to the beginning of modern management. So here we have four examples from the first half of the 20th century. And these are, first, we have the scientific movement. Second is the classical theory. Third is the bureaucracy. And last is the human relations. So first we have the scientific management. So I will give you an example for you to understand more. No? So example, a factory uses time and motion studies to optimize assembly line process, ensuring each worker performs tasks efficiently. So this is a direct application of Taylor's principle. So next, we have the classical theory. Example is, a large corporation has a clear chain of command, so with manager at different levels responsible for specific department. So this hierarchical structure helps maintain order and accountability. So that is an example of classical theory. So next we have the bureaucracy. So example of that is, imagine a government agency follows strict procedure for processing applications, ensuring fairness and consistency. So this adherence to rules is a key element of Weber bureaucratic model. Last, we have the human relations. So example with that is, a company implements employee engagement programs, fostering a positive work environment and encouraging communication between employees and manager. So this focus on employee well-being reflects the insights of Elton Mayo. Behaviorist view of management. So the scientific movement, Frederick Taylor, an American engineer, dominated the beginning of what has become to be known as the scientific movement from the turn of the last century until the 1920s. So the term time and motion studies emanates from Taylor. So I'll give you example again. So example, so a fast food restaurant can apply Taylor's principle by conducting time and motion studies to optimize the flow sa trabaho. So we can set the standardizing procedure, specializing worker tasks, right? And implementing incentive system to improve the efficiency and productivity of the whole operation. So that can lead to faster service resort and reduce cost and potentially higher profits, right? So next we have the in principle of scientific management. So Taylor 1947, so he set out four foundation of his principle. So number one, we have the development of the science of work and meeting goals with pay linked to productivity. So a fair day's work for a fair day's pay. So what do you mean by that? So, example, science of work, diba? So, it's developed a scientific approach to each job, defining the best way to perform tasks to maximize efficiency. So this involves studying workflows and analyzing movements and optimizing process. So example, a factory assembly line where each worker performs scientific, highly efficient step in the production process rather than each work doing the entire assembly. So diba, makita rin kayo mo ang kalahian. So next, we have the scientific selection and training of each employee to fit the task. So example, a company uses aptitude tests to identify candidates best suited kanang masuit siya na ang position bitaw for a specific job requiring fine motor skills, and then provide them with extensive training on the optimized techniques for that job. Because it's in scientific selecting and training, it's carefully select workers based on their abilities and aptitudes. So after pag makaset na ka, so they are going to matrain na din sila thoroughly using the scientifically determined best methods na yun. Diba? So next, we have the bringing together of science work and the selection of the workers for the best results. Example, regular meetings between manager and workers on an assembly line to discuss challenges, suggest improvements, and ensure everyone understands and follows an established procedure. So by doing that, it's fostering collaboration between the management and the workers to ensure that the tasks perform accordingly to the scientifically developed methods, right? And last is the equal division of work and responsibilities. So, and equal division of work and responsibilities. So clearly, you are dividing work and responsibilities between the management and the workers. So ensuring that managers focus on planning and overseeing while the workers concentrate on execution. So this aims to avoid duplication of effort and maximize efficiency, right? So example with that, managers at that construction site. So they are responsible for planning the project, right? So mga manager, and procuring materials and scheduling work, while workers, ang ilang gina-focus is they carrying out their assigned tasks based on the plan nga gihimo sa manager. So next is the management of people. So management is more about people than about organization and system. So if these are to be effective, the human relation movement, the long-held theories of scientific management, and the bureaucracy were challenged by writers such as Chester Barnard and Elton. The human relation approach acknowledged that people are not simply cogs in a machine, but have needs and motivation that significantly impact their performance. So next, MacGregor's work has been enlarged also by Likert, an American social psychologist Likert, 1967, whose concepts are presented in 4 management systems. First system, System 1. It's exploitative, authoritative. So what do you mean by that? So example, so the manager makes all the decision. So it dictates tasks and closely control employees. Ang manager man yun, diba? So there is a little trust or communication. So team members feel alienated and demotivated. Next is System 2. It's benevolent and authoritative. Again, what do you mean by that? So the manager makes most decision but allows some upward communication. So there is a paternalistic approach with the manager, believing they know what's best. So team members may feel some involvement but still lack of significant autonomy. System 3, the consultative. So consult ka. So the manager consults the team before making decisions. So diba? Ipasot kung maganiyan na daan, seeking their input and feedback. So there's more collaboration, but ultimate decision-making authority rests with the managers. The team members feel valued but may still be hesitate to challenge decision. And last is the system 4. We have the participate. So the manager and team members work together collaboratively, making decisions jointly, and their high trust, open communication, and share responsibility. So team members feel empowered and highly motivated. So next, we have the Venice perceives effective leadership in 4 areas of management. So first, we have the attention. So it says that drawing others into his or her vision through a supreme focus. And next is the trust. It's conveying the leader's integrity and reliability. And next is measuring. It's communicating, meaning, directing, and aligning staff to work in harmony. And last is the limitation and thus exploit their strength. So, imagine a CEO launching a new product, diba? First, attention. So, the CEO captivates the team with a compelling vision for the product success. So, making it clear why this launch is crucial and how it aligns with the company's overall goals. So, this generates excitement and enthusiasm. So, that's attention. And next, we have the trust. So, trust na pud ka. So, the CEO consistent yun siya mo demonstrate integrity and reliability. So keeping his or her promise kung sa tuyang istorya, and being transparent and acting ethically. So this also build a confidence among the team that the CEO's vision is sound achievable. So nanananiha ang trust. Ang trust sa mga workers or ang trust team sa teams, overall teams sa CEO. So next we have the measuring. So here, the CEO establishes clear and measurable goals and regularly tracks progress, providing feedback and adjusting strategies as needed. So they ensure that everyone understands the metrics and how their work contributes to overall success. And last is the limitation. So the CEO acknowledges their own limitation and delegates tasks to team members who possess the necessary expertise, fostering a collaborative environment where everyone's strengths are utilized. Next is the implementation for management today. So the management of the most businesses and public leisure services in the UK appears to be based on classical management theory. So many writers have revised failed original model, but generally the framework and logic have remained intact. So first we have the planning. So the policies, forecasting, and objectives. So, example, let's consider again, setable example, a small bakery. So, planning. So, the bakery owner yearly sales goals, create menu, and plan for the seasonal change in demand. So, it's increased demand for pumpkin bread in the fall. So, this involves forecasting and establishing objectives. So, yeah, when you say forecasting kasi you are seeing the future progress or process sa imo ang business, no, as a bakery owner. Manang create siya lain-lain menu, and if depende sa season, di ba, ma-change ang demand. So ina na siya. And next is the execution. So what is execution? So execution, here we have the systematic implementation of policies, coordination. So yeah, again, in connecting sa small bakery happen. So execution. So the owner implements the plan by purchasing ingredients. So nag-purchase na siya, then mag-schedule na siya staff, dayon nag-start na po siya o kanang bake na gyud og bread, and i-market na po niya ang iyang bread into the bakery products. So, pwede niya ito ibaliga. So, this requires systematic implementation, coordination of tasks, and efficient use of resources. So, i-execute na yun niya. No? And next is control. So, control, it's auditable. It's monitoring performance. So, diri, di ba? Ang owner, i-monitor na yun niya ang sales figure kung nitaas ba or palugit na ba. So, diha, ma-track niya ang inventory levels, and also, pwede niya, sa pag-control, pwede po niya himuon ang mag-review siya sa mga customer feedback para makakontrol siya sa pricing and recipes or staffing based on this performance data. So, nanagid sa manager ang tanang control. So, and next is the basic framework for day management for leisure services, facilities, and programs. So, namely, number 1, conceptualizing having a mission, directing goals, and marketing strategy. So, example, mag-conceptualize ka ng mission, goals, and marketing. So, example ako na gamit tag ka ng summer camp. So, ang camp director defines the camp mission. So, ang ilang mission dito ato is maka-provide og fun, dayon maka-feel ang mga summer experience sa children, and also the goals. So, set the goals. So, ilang goals is ma-increase ilang enrollment by 10% and develop a marketing strategy. So, mo-develop ka, pwede ka manghatag of flyers, then post ka social media, so inana. So, second is the setting measurable objectives. So, specific measure objectives are created for each program. Example, in a true program, 80% our participants will improve their accuracy by 20%. So, number 3, organizing structure and system. So, the camp director establish a clear organizational structure. Example, mag-assign siya ka ng counselor to a specific age group and system for managing activity scheduling and safety. So, di ba, na-organize na siya. Na. Then, number 4, recruiting, training, and developing staff. So, counselors are hired, training in safety procedure and activity supervision, and given opportunity for professional development. So, syempre, mag-hire juga ka itong mga professional. And mag-recruit ka mga professional, mag-train ka to develop the whole plan. And number 5 is carrying out the plan. So, the summer camp program is implemented according to the schedule with activities running smoothly and effective. So, diba? Kung masunod din mo itong first step, smooth to din kayo ang flow sa inyong plan. And next is assisting, inspiring, and motivating. So, ang director mo provide yung support and guidance sa counselor. So, fostering a positive and encouraging work environment. So, there's a good impact, diba? And next is the seeking improvement, appraising result. So, at the end of the summer, the director evaluates the success of the camp, gather feedbacks, and identifies area for improvement in future years. So, muna dahil na siya. Silbi mag-evaluate siya kung unsa pa yung mga kulang, unsa pa yung dapat i-improve, ano siya. And next is quality management. So, 3 movements in modern business have gained around ground during recent years. So, the computer technology revolution worldwide, the quality customer care, and increasingly empowerment. So, basically, these 3 movements have fundamentally changed how manufacturing companies approach quality, leading to higher quality products and improved customer satisfaction and more engaged workforce. So, next, we have the Total Quality Management or the TQM. So I know you're familiar with it because naanin sa ato ang major subject. So it is an approach to improving the effectiveness of the business as a whole. That is a process from the top to bottom which involves every person in an organization in order to ensure customer satisfaction at every stage. So example na ko na. A coffee shop using the TQM or the Total Quality Management. So, actively seeks customer feedback. So, the trains select staff in quality control and service. And they are also regularly improves its process in example sa coffee shop, kanang brewing nila, ilang ordering, and continuously monitor performance sa ilang mga staff and maintain strong relationship with suppliers to ensure consistent high quality and customer satisfaction. So, mo na example sa ka-business nga gina-apply nila ang TQM. So, organize yun tanan bitaw pag i-apply nimo ang TQM or the Total Quality Management. So, next is the British Quality Association provides a definition of TQM. So, the Total Quality Management or the TQM is a corporate business management philosophy which recognizes that customer needs and business goals are inseparable. Meaning, dapat di gid siya pwede magbulag. Are inseparable. So, that's all of my topics. So, salamat po. Ingat po.
Mabuhay! My name is Moni Parlo Mongo and I'm the last reporter. And now let's proceed to entrepreneurial and inspirational leadership. Entrepreneurial leadership as a domain of the private sector is gaining momentum in the public sector as never before, in part due to success experienced in the private sector and the policy requiring local authorities to optimize income and decrease net expenditure. This form of leadership was almost diametrically opposed to operating in government agencies which relied on the system rather than managers and staff provide service. For me, entrepreneurial leadership is a leadership style that combines the mindset, skills, and behaviors of an entrepreneur with the ability to lead and inspire others. It focuses on creating innovation, taking calculated risks, and pursuing new opportunities while also managing teams and organization effectively. According to Harry Alder in the Right Brain Manager 1993, believes that such a person is a leader not because he or she leads but because people tend to follow. So, it means that leadership is about the ability to inspire, guide, and motivate people to willingly follow. It's not about authority control, it's about influence. A leader doesn't force others to follow, but rather attracts followers because they earn their trust, respect, and admiration. And now let's proceed to Adair in Not Bosses but Leaders 2003 has a similar brief chapter entitled Humility. Humility comes from humus, the earth, means being on the ground level with others. So Adair uses the strapline, the task of leadership is not to put greatness into humanity, but to elicit it, for greatness is already there. So the manager must be successful leader in order to be effective. The manager must be understand himself or herself and the staff and the customer. And now let's proceed to decision making. So decision making is one of the important areas of work for leaders and managers. So it has three main types of decisions. So first we have emergency decisions. It requires clear, quick, and precise actions. So example of this is to evacuate the building given a security alert, to break up a fight at the disco, or to make call for ambulance and fire service or police. That's the example of emergency decisions. Now let's proceed to second type of decision. So we have routine decisions. It revolves around the everyday running of an organization. It requires yes or no to maintain the status quo, and staff are delegated to make such decision. So example of that, changes the duty supervisor rota. So kung ganahan ka makipag-exchange duty, so it requires yes or no sa imong kauban kung musugot ba siya or dili. And the change of menu or giving the blessing for additional staff for the forthcoming major events. And lastly, we have debatable decisions. Are debatable because they change status quo. So it based on mag-debate jud mo before ma-decide ni nga decision. And lastly, we have debatable decisions. Debatable decisions are debatable because they change status quo. So, it requires debate para maka-decide ang usap-usa. Kung hinsay daog, mo to'y kuan, sundon nga decision. Mong gitawag siya debatable decisions. And now, let's proceed to 9 stages of decision making. First, we have defining the problem. Second, gathering and examining information and identifying possible causes. 3, consulting with people and considering their views. 4, considering choices or alternatives. 5, considering the implication. 6. Making the decision and deciding a course of action. 7. Communicating the decision. And 8. Implementing and following up the decision. And lastly, evaluation, feedback, and modification. Now, let's proceed to communication. So, communication is the transmission or sharing of information. Its purpose is to ensure that whoever receives the message understands what is in the mind of the sender. And it has two types of communication. So, first we have one-way communication. Is quick and satisfying for the sender, but often frustrating for the receiver, and it can lead to misunderstandings. So manager must beware the dangers and use one way only for emergencies and when autocratic communication is essential. And now let's proceed to second type of communication, which is two-way communication. It takes longer and may be frustrating for the sender. It is essentially more sensitive and more accurate. So, if you are a manager, it's best to use two-way communication. The late Ted Blake 2003 thought that effective communication needs to be built an understanding of people. He was a great communicator and his slogan was AIDA. AIDA stands for gain attention, hold interest, and stimulate a desire to instigate an action. Now let's proceed to communication models and networks. Communication models, they serve to demonstrate that some of methods, managerial communication, serve particularly circumstances better than others. So Kent, 1981, identified three close model. So first we have the chain. The chain is the straight line with the manager at the top. And second, the Y formation. Simple gatekeeping with the manager controlling at the center. And third, we have the wheel. Large control span, gatekeeping with the manager at the center calling the shots. Now let's proceed to coaching, mentoring, and motivational leadership. So coaching provides people with confidence in the job as individuals and as valuable members of the team. Coaching has the three roles, which is the coach, mentor, and counselor. So coach give clear instruction as to what they expected. And mentor is an experienced guide, a believer, an understander, promoting the cause and showing the way, a teacher and coach who can make a lasting impression on individual's life. So mentor is someone who shares their experience, knowledge, and wisdom to help the mentee or the person being mentored navigate the challenge, developing skills, and achieve their goals. And counselor is a sympathetic listener who ideally helps a member of staff to find his or her own solution, though in the work situation, suggestions and advice may be called for. So, counselor, mao ni silang mga tao na pwede nimo maduulan pag naa kay problema sa work. Kay hilig na sila maghatag suggestion or advice para masolusyonan imo ang problem sa work. And now, let's proceed to second type of leadership, which is motivational leadership. So, motivational leadership focus on inspiring and encouraging individuals or teams to achieve their full potential and reach common goals. So, it refers to a leadership style or approach that focus on inspiring and energizing others to take action, achieve their goals, and perform at their best. Heller, 1999, identifies 10 motivating factors. First, we have self-fulfillment, enabling staff to take on challenges. Second, recognition, letting them know how well they are doing. Third, we have peer respect, celebrating an individual's success publicly. And fourth, expertise, encouraging special knowledge. And fifth, competence, training to develop key skills. And sixth, achievement, agreeing targets that are achievable. And seven, autonomy, planning their own work. And eight, self-confidence, ensuring tasks can be done well. And nine, self-respect, increasing regard for oneself. And 10, membership, ensuring staff enter the club of co-workers. Now, let's proceed to delegation. Delegation requires a leadership style combining directive and supportive behaviors and also requires performance standards and resources, personnel, financial, technical, and organizational. So, delegation, it's assigning responsibility and authority for tasks or decisions to others while retaining overall accountability for the outcome. Delegate is a person authorized to act as representative for another or others. So, for example, ikaw nga manager is busy kay ka, dayon nag-ask ka sa imong staff nga kung pwede siya sa muna mo substitute nimo. So mo siya gitawag og delegation. Then katong nag-substitute sa manager mo to siya gitawag na delegate, which is the person. And now let's proceed to two types of delegation. First, we have gopher delegation, means go for this, go for that, do this, do that, and tell me when it's done. So, pag human na, nimubuhat na nang ipabuhat sa imong manager, imo siyang istoryaon nga, human na, nabuhat na ako tanan, imong angay ipabuhat ako. Then second, we have stewardship delegation. It is focused on results instead of method. So, the leader clearly communicates the desired results or outcomes they expect, but they leave the specific methods and approach up to the person being delegated to. So, the focus is on results, not the process. So, wala na sila ipake kung unsay method imong gigamit or process nganong mo nay outcomes na mo nay resulta, nganong bad ba or good ang result. Basta ang importante sa ila is ang resulta. Wa sila ga focus sa method. And that's the end of our report. Thank you.